Hello, I'm Cat, and yep, that's me fighting blazes on my first day in hardcore Minecraft. You don't need to build a boring house you don't have a use for. Instead, you can make a portal in a village, jump right through it, and trade with a bastion first. If you want to have more fun when you're starting a new world, or you want to spice up your playstyle, here's exactly how you do that. This is my guide to Chaos Minecraft, and I know that if you try it, you'll have a lot of fun, but first you'll need to know the rules, and they can be categorized into the three ends. There are the nomadic rules. This means stay moving at all times. There's no need for beds in hardcore, so a house is a choice, not a requirement. You'll have a lot more fun if you're not tethered down to it, so stay on the move constantly, and also try to be non-traditional. Try something you've never done before. Do you always mine for iron? Look for structures instead. Do you usually make baked potatoes? Try melons, cooked hoglin, or even bread. Ultimately, there are lots of different things that you could try that you probably don't in a regular run, and hardcore is the ultimate opportunity because you know the world's going to die at some point, so your only risk is your time. Finally, there is the no fear aspect. Be ready to jump right into any situation you find yourself with. Obviously, this is a especially important thing because if you want some extra bonus adrenaline, make sure that you do some things in hardcore that you wouldn't normally do and try and push the limits just a little bit. So would you usually get full enchanted diamond armor to fight the dragon? Try it with leather armor instead. Would you usually think to yourself you need to be fully prepared before fighting a raid? Well, then perhaps you should try doing it before anything else on day one. This isn't hypothetical, by the way. It's something I can show you in a real chaos mode run, and perhaps one of the most chaotic is this one right here. I spawned in a plains biome, which didn't look too bad. There's a village nearby, which is very useful for the usual supplies, and then I see a pillager outpost over the hill. I see this as an opportunity to fight a structure that kicks my butt usually, and so I go there right after seeing a ruined portal on the way, and all I have is a sword, a shield, and no armor. Even with some decent armor, this place can really hurt you, but I decide if I just don't take any damage, I'll do just fine, and so despite the fact that I've done worse with much better armor, I do surprisingly well, picking up this skeleton's leather armor chestplate, and even getting the ominous bottle less than 9 minutes into starting a world. This means that just as daytime is hitting, I'm back at my village, and I decide, you know what, rather than waiting a few days to start a raid, let's do it right here on day one. If I can get a totem before anything else, then all of my other chaos will be much easier, right? And so all I have to do is fight wave after wave of pillagers, and boy do I get close to death a few times, but after using the sort of ingenuity I didn't realize I had in me, I actually managed to defeat the raid, or at least I got my totem of undying. I'm not sure how the raid went after that, but I left the village behind and decided I was going to the nether instead. After finding a big pile of lava, I went right in, and then I was in the middle of a cave. I traversed a lot of the nether before finding my fortress. This fortress went pretty well until it didn't. My totem activated. Okay, so, no! Okay, I'm just gonna crouch with this in a corner. Okay, sure, there's no totem of undying anymore, but I have all of the blaze rods I need, and so my last goal is to get some ender pearls, which I'll be able to do as soon as I get out of here, which requires a bit of tricky parkour. Okay, no! Okay. No! Where was he? I did not see him. I did not see him, chat. Did you see the wither skeleton? That was such a good run. Oh well, live by the chaos, die by the chaos, right? Ultimately, I got a lot more progress done in 3 days playing very aggressively than I would have done in 30 days playing cautiously, and so I can afford to do this 10 more times if I want to. If you are playing hardcore anyway, you are admitting your world's going to die at some point, and so you might as well push the limit, or what's the point in it being hardcore? And so that is why this is something that is a lot of fun, and I would say that this is something for almost everyone, but I would say there are some people for whom it's not. Why would you not want to play Chaos Hardcore mode? Well, I figured I'd give the defense of that at least briefly, because this isn't for everyone. There are some people for whom losing a world is a disastrous thing, and no matter how new you are to that world, it's not going to be good. I would argue those people probably are better off not playing hardcore, but if your goal is to have the hardcore be a nebulous thing that just keeps you on your toes every now and then as you go down to 8 hearts, then maybe you can make it work. You can get to the point where hardcore is basically the same as hard difficulty, and so maybe this isn't for you if that's true. Also, the extra damage is painful, and as I showed right there, all it takes is a medium-sized fall and then literally one hit from a mob and you're immediately dead. Extra damage can be a fun thing if it's something you can react to. Sure, dying in 3 hits instead of 4 does seem like more challenging, but when you die in 1 hit instead of 2, as iron golems or certain endermen and other mobs will do, then at that point it's not fun, it's just random sources of death. And also it's worth mentioning that random sources of death are something that go against Minecraft being a chill game. For many people, the soundtrack of Minecraft is the exact epitome of why the game is so great. Having a beautiful, chill game that you play at your own pace is the whole reason to jump into it. But, as I'm sure you'll know, I would give my defense of why you should play it anyway. I think that Chaos Mode is a lot of fun, and the moments that you have while doing this are totally worth it. The last few Minecraft updates with the Deep Dark, the Trial Chambers, and more are all pointing towards having the most fun you can in a brand new world. Finding these things in the early game is much more fun than later, because at a certain point you just don't care about an enchanted pair of iron leggings, but when you're fresh in a world, this is one of the best feelings in the world. Having all of this enchanted gear, having this totem when it actually meant the difference between life and death, made my world so much more enjoyable, and I think that all of these moments have been worth all of these deaths. How many deaths, you ask? Well, this right here is my hardcore world that I haven't died in. It's currently ongoing as a stream series, but these are all hardcore worlds that I have died in, and let's just say there's a lot of them. Ooh. So that's how many deaths. Okay, it doesn't look good, but in my opinion, all of these deaths have actually helped me grow as a Minecraft player. Usually when you die in Minecraft, there's very little consequence, and I know the keep inventory crowd aren't going to like hearing that because it's so rough. You have to go back to your death spot and then pick up some items. It takes so much work, but in reality, death in Minecraft is one of the least punishing deaths in basically any game out there. You don't lose any gold, you don't lose any real gained things besides experience, and so ultimately dying is not that punishing, and so you don't need to go through that much work to avoid it. However, I have learned a lot from each of my deaths, and specifically, I'm learning my weaknesses in Minecraft and working out how to overcome them. And if you think that that's me thinking about that retroactively, no, here is me on day 1 in the Nether fighting some blazes and realizing that I'm not very good at this. Oh, and he's not going down. Ah! More problems. It's over. If you're going to be starting a new world every 10 minutes anyway, why not play adventurously? That's what I've learned today. I've also learned that cheeseburgers don't magically appear. Okay, that second bit was because I was very hungry and I was ignoring my hunger to play Minecraft, but yeah, dying to blazes over and over again has taught me that, yeah, I need to go in there much more prepared. Rather than accepting that I can be right in the margins of dying in Minecraft, I'd be a much better player if I went in there expecting to take no damage, and then when I took a little bit of damage, that was the big shock. Playing hard Minecraft, and especially playing hardcore Minecraft, makes you a better player, because even though you have to start more worlds, you really want to avoid the death in those worlds, which will benefit you regardless of where and when you play. If, like me, you have a long-term survival world that you want to get into, then it's perfectly fine to have that, as well as improve your skills by playing a few Chaos Mode runs. That is the way that I'm certainly playing it, and a lot of people have been enjoying coming along for the ride and enjoying the chaos side by side with me, and that's why I figured I'd put together this guide. So if you wanted to do it yourself, you can, but also, if you think this is all too crazy and you just want to live vicariously through me, then let me give you a fun update. I made it a goal to get an Elytra before 10 hardcore days had passed, and I actually managed to do that successfully on Thursday. And then I decided, rather than just resting on my laurels and saying, okay, I can chill out for the rest of this hardcore world, I've got all of the good stuff I need, shulker boxes, Elytras, all of the best gear I could ever dream of. Now I'm going to go right back in that world, and I'm going to take down another end city. I'm going to fight the Ender Dragon, because I have to get back to the overworld, and then I'm going to take on a woodland mansion, the one structure I have never defeated in hardcore Minecraft. Why am I going to risk the world that I've just built to beat the wooden mansion? Because I know that I'll come out of that structure with a much better understanding of how to do it and how not to, and hopefully that will make me a better Minecraft player. Ultimately, even though we want to have a comfort zone and it's important to be in there, it's also important to push yourself outside of it as often as possible, because as much as we want to do things that are roughly as challenging as what we've done before, going and doing bigger, harder, better things is what I think is important, and that's why you can join me on my live stream tonight if you want to see me taking on a wooden mansion. I statistically won't be successful, but I'm really praying that I will be anyway, and join me if you want to see that. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it encourages you to start a Chaos Mode world, and if you have any fun experiences or moments on that, please do share them either in the comments down below or in our subreddit or literally anywhere else. I love to see the joy that people get from Minecraft after watching these videos, and if you want to share that with me, I'd appreciate it. But for now, thank you for watching, consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.